All right. Looks like we're getting a couple people here. Hey, Glenn. We are gluing up for the coffee stir or the coffee scoop. So I went ahead and cut the blank to length and drilled it up. We are getting ready to put this in there. Oh, we got a little excess. It'll be all right. We'll have plenty. What's going on, Joe? Tonight we have 3 bottle stoppers, coffee scoop, and a diamond pen. Oh, wow. We got a lot of people in quick. Hello, Darren, Mary, Lisa, Carla, Amber. Amber, we did end up naming that blank Amber Whiskey. It's a good name for it. Thank you. You all have requested the coffee scoop. I did not make a blank that looks like coffee. Somebody had made the mention about trying to make a matching set. So we still have the ice cream scoop. So this blank will be a bottle stopper. It is made from the other half of the ice cream scoop, or other third, I should say. And then this one is something we poured this week, and it will look pretty close to a match. So the coffee scoop and everything will match as one piece. Can you donate $100? No, thank you. All good. Joe, I've got a package going out to you in the morning. I think you'll be happy with it. Hello, Crystal. Hey, look at that. My lovely wife decided to join us as well. As you all have heard me say before, and I'll say it again, life is better when you have a great spouse. Nothing wrong with being single. I was single for many years before I met her, but my life definitely got better with her in it. Let me trim up the ends of this, and we will be ready to go. Almost. Almost ready. Just a little bit more. Crystal, you are correct. She is a beautiful wife. I'm very fortunate. I'm usually a firm believer in the mentality that God doesn't give with both hands, but in her case, he did. She's very smart and she's beautiful, and they definitely gave with both hands. Okay, so this is going to be our coffee scoop. This will be our bottle stopper. We have one in wood, and I have one in rainbow as well. And if we want to, and if we have time, depending on how those go, I can always cut this down and we can do a hybrid. All right. Let's get started. We'll turn the diamond pen first, as always. Glenn, this is what we were talking about earlier, a live center and a dead center, which sometimes can be confusing when starting out the turn. A live center usually goes in the tailstock and will have a bearing. Ha! Being nice, right? I'm usually honest, regardless if it's nice. And I'm definitely being honest in that case. But this is a live center, and it has a bearing, and it has this, for this particular lathe, it is a number 2 Morse taper, or oftentimes an MT2. It will go in the tailstock, and it's just a wedge fit or mechanical fit. And then this is a dead center, no bearing, and it is typically put in the driven end. So when you look at a lathe or you look at any sort of power transmission, motor, belts, pulleys, anything like that, this is usually the driven end where the motor and the work get done. And the other side that is no work getting done, it's just riding, is often called the drive. Yeah, this is the drive side, this is the driven side. Sorry, I had that confused for a second. But this is the drive side and this is the driven side. The lathe is honestly no different. This is our kit from Penn State Industries. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And as always, our bushings we buy from TBC bushings. You can turn without bushings, you can turn straight between centers. I particularly like the bushings, they work really well for what we do. By no means do I get any promotional or anything back from him. I just like his product. And this has been a busy week. We have a bunch of diamond pens from the last couple of lives that are packed up and labeled, and they will be going out this week. And trying to get a bunch of stuff made so you all have a bunch of beautiful pens. All right. If you hear things get silent, that's because we turned on the dust collector, and I typically turn off the sound or put it on mute so that you all don't hear the loud noise from the dust collector. Pon will not be joining us this evening. He had a prior engagement, but he wished us the best of luck. Hello, Rosalind. Huh. Your local wood store, some of them may be there because they're really good at people's skills and they need a job. They may not be turners. That may be why they may or may not know the difference. Don't be too hard on them. Hey, Momo's here too. All right, here we go. Yeah, good job. Usually nice works well. If nice doesn't work, then take other means. But in the world of turning, there are a lot of people that may or may not work in turning things that may not know. So it's different than any other woodworking hobby by far. And there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of people that don't know. Part of the reason we do the lives is to help inform anyone, and it's information that's gathered for relatively cheap or free, other than your time, which I would have loved to have had when I started out. But things weren't as popular and technology wasn't as easy 20 years ago. I started turning when I was 19. I will be 41 in July. Tom may not be with us, but we definitely are using the Pond Pink sanding container. We'll get out a round of Zona paper. And as always, we will fold up the white. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts? Do we know what we want to see next week? Okay, here we go. Maybe next week we will turn a cigar humidor. That sound of interest? Hopefully everyone's having a good week. Rosalind, I'm hoping your hardware shows up hopefully this week. And it's only from one state away over in Pennsylvania. Sometimes it takes them forever to get to ship something. Well, we will gladly turn your pen right on the lathe. I suppose we could ship a cigar with it. If we turn it and somebody would like to purchase it, we could gladly ship a cigar with it. Do we want to see it turned with a resin blank or a wood blank? I have some absolutely beautiful Thoya burl that would look nice. Or we can turn it as a hybrid for a cigar, or a hybrid, or we can turn it as straight resin. This would be the piece of Thoya burl. Resin. All right, we can do resin. Hey, you won a bunko. Great, congratulations. Thanks for joining, Patrick. We do have the hardware to turn a set of measuring cups and measuring spoons. If we would like to agree on a color pattern for those, we can get the blanks made up to be able to turn the measuring spoons and measuring cups. Food for thought, do we make them in black and white as well and have a whole kitchen set? Okay, well, then we'll have a whole black and white marble kitchen set. Measuring spoons, measuring cups, pizza cutter, ice cream scoop, coffee scoop. Let's see what other kitchen utensil kits we can find. Hey, Caden. Pepper grinder. All right, Joe, you stepped in it. Do you want to see a short 5 or 6 inch pepper grinder? I know that one of the other members in this live, and she knows who she is, had mentioned the salt and pepper shaker. We could make the salt and pepper shaker in black and white as well. And then for a pepper grinder, do you want to see a short 6 inch one, or do you want to see a 12 inch one? He's really good at what he does. Yeah, Joe's a great turner, and so is Darren and Glenn and several of the other ones. I don't know if I'm good at what I do, but you know, sometimes it works. Well, you convinced me. We'll do a whole entire kitchen set, and when it's finished, we'll put it up for sale. Unless for some reason my wife cons me into keeping it, which is okay. Ah, I get lucky. I'm blessed with an ability to break stuff down to the point I can understand it. I don't know that I'm good, but I get lucky. I'll tell you what's going to be lucky is this one's going to polish up very nice. It's going to polish up very, very nice. We got a little hiccup right there on the side. You probably can't see. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Jeannie, I didn't realize you were a nurse. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of nurse are you? Are you an OR nurse, a home health nurse, respiratory therapist? MDS nurse. Nice. Nice. Carla, thanks for the compliment. Everybody has to learn, and as long as there's a willingness to learn, we will gladly teach. All right, we're ready for the next one. Wow, you definitely covered many facets of nursing. That is why nursing is a very good field to get into. There's many, many avenues. My daughter is currently in her first year of nursing school. She will be a BSN to RN, or RN to BSN. Salad spoons. Send me the link as to where to get them. I'll try to turn some. I saw, I think Donna had a back scratcher posted the other day. That's the first I've seen of one of those. We can always try that too. My mom was a nurse, so nursing has a soft spot with me. She's no longer with us, but nurses are very important, and there's always work. Many, many avenues. Nursing school is really tough. She's a pretty bright kid, so I think she'll be all right. But she may or may not learn really quickly. She will learn through hard work. She has a work ethic that doesn't quit. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. This may be the second time we've turned a blank like this, but I absolutely love this style blank. Now we're gonna go double our speed. Anybody else care to share what they do for a living? It's always neat to understand and see what people do and hear what people do. I've been in HVAC for 21 years. I currently do it for the local power company, local utility. Before that, I was 16 years on the road, 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. In home health. Oh, with people with disabilities. Great. Thought I was a magician. Yeah, right. The you know, the great ability to make resin disappear, and all of a sudden something useful shows up. I would agree. Yeah, magician. Who's David Copperfield? Right? Retired Army vet. Hey, thanks for your service. As you will hear us say many, many times, we are thankful for our veterans, and that is something I teach all younger generations. I think unfortunately we live in a dystopian time that doesn't get taught enough. All the rights and all the liberties that we have and the ability to be happy or complain, whatever we want to do, all afforded by somebody that was willing to sign the death contract for a person that they will most likely never meet. Thanks again, Joe. Patrick, you pick apples for a living. Well, that's quite a trade. I'm glad to see that we still have migratory workers like that. You know, it's got to be challenging moving around everywhere. Not everywhere has apples in harvest at the same time. In the South, they're ready before they are up here. Nice for an eyeglass manufacturer. When I was on the road, Darren, one of my clients was Regional Eye Associates and Spectrum Optical in Morgantown, and they have 6 locations in West Virginia. They do laser eye surgery and obviously eyeglasses and other stuff as well. Seasonal work. Nice, Patrick. Good job. It was one of the perks of the job was getting to meet people from lots of different places and different avenues. Air casters, so like air powered like forklifts. When we used to do boiler work and big equipment work in the field, we would use a company out of Pittsburgh that had a set of air skates, and they would be able to put them underneath the equipment, and with high pressure air, we could move 60 to 100,000 pounds with the use of about 10 men just easily pushing it in place. It was super handy versus a wheel that rolled. Holy cow. The Cyber Command as a cybersecurity engineer. Wow. That is a very important job in today's time for sure. Thank you, Crystal. It's close to a thunderstorm. That's ironic you mentioned that, Jeannie. Um, I actually have somebody that reached out to me. I don't know if she will be joining us this evening or not. She is in Austria. She asked for some thunderstorm blanks, and I've got something I've been working on. I've made a couple, but they don't look exactly correct. But when I finish them, she asked for a couple of thunderstorm blanks, and her request should spark something really, really cool. The From the time the blank is poured, they usually need about 5 to 7 days for the resin to fully cure, um, so that they will polish up nice. If you try to do them before 5 to 7 days, they may or may not polish as well. The turning time to make a pen, depending on complexity, could be as little as 30 minutes, as some of them I've seen on here, to as long as a couple hours. Hey, man, your timing is impeccable, all the way from the other side of the world. How's the weather in Austria? And yes, I am talking about you. I poured a couple ideas, but they don't look as exactly what I'm looking for. Looking for something kind of dark and ominous with some lightning in there. I'm glad you could join us. I know it's like midnight over there. Flawless. That's what we like. Flawless. So ready for spring. Absolutely. I think there are many of us ready for the warm weather. We had a day last week or week before last, it was 82 degrees. For a couple of days, it was high 70s. And then back to winter. Let's polish it up a little bit. Yeah, somebody's got to get their crap together. We're ready for spring. You know, as a comment I'd heard years ago was Mother Nature never gets in a hurry, yet everything gets accomplished. We'll let that blush up a little bit, and it'll be a beautiful pen. My lovely wife is actually watching the live through this week and keeping track of the comments. We will try to do the giveaway before the live is over instead of waiting till tomorrow, so suspense doesn't kill anyone. We could easily turn a really intricate shape on these, but we would prefer to see you support other great turners. We just like to make the blanks. Teeny, I think I'll use some of this holographic glitter in yours as well. I think if I can get it in the streak, it'll look like the lightning. Do we like that one? Is the shape okay? Is the finish all right? All right. Yeah, that blank should be awesome, Caden. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, the glitter should be pretty stellar. All right, so we are going to get out the parts. Need to clean the lathe up before next week. That's all right. Just a little bit of surface rust. We'll sand it up. So we need a set of bushings. Hmm. Well, these bushings don't fit inside like typical, so we might have to use a different setup. for that. And I think I have just what we're looking for. And I do. And as far as Glenn and Carla, Glenn, here's another style of live and dead center. Because this bushing is designed to fit the different style than we typically use, we came prepared, because I've turned the other coffee scoop, but not this kit before, so this will be the first that we have. This would be our dead center, and this has a bearing. It is our live center. And then let's look at the instructions and see which way the bushing goes. Cap bushing goes on this end, and the step bushing goes on the other end. And then we slip that piece on there, and we will slip this on here, tighten down the tailstock, and we will get to do the magician's role of making square stuff round. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining us. All right. It'll get quiet for just a minute, and then we'll be right back. So before I go too far, I want to verify the bushing diameter to make this as clean as possible. So I also want to make sure that the manufacturer did their job correctly. We are going to measure the bushings at 0.59, 0.56. We're going to see what this diameter is. 0.54. 0.54. Okay, so we can turn to the bushing and be good. Pardon the dust collector, here we go. All right, are we satisfied with the shape? Abracadabra. This will be a coffee scoop. Sorry about that. I had to make a slight adjustment. That bushing was wearing on the end of the lathe. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. We'll sand it up and see what it looks like. Yeah, black and white should be sharp. Unless you pour all the blanks at the same time, there will typically be some slight color variation. The ice cream scoop has a little different pattern than this does, but it's still black and white, still poured with the same recipe, just the difference in the color pour, which varies from batch to batch. I think Joe and Patrick are both fans of the marble look. Did anyone see the black and gold marble patterns for the drop on Monday? They should be pretty nice as well. Yeah, it's a very timeless look, very classic look. I like to put a little bit of a bulbous shape on the end of the coffee scoop. Makes it just a little more comfortable. If you can see with my hand, when you were to hold it, the tail cap would be there. it fits well in your hand and would fit in between your last set of fingers. Linda, you love the marble look as well, huh? Thank you. It is a nice timeless look. We're going to try to sand this down to the bushing as best we can for a cleaner fit. Black and gold, if you're making pens, Darren, should have a very, very, we're going to say 50s elegant, timeless kind of look to them. The gold is made with a really rich pigment that we typically don't use, but it creates some crazy, crazy effects in everything that we've made. I have a couple pens with a set of blanks that I made that look like they're physically on fire from the color shift in that mica. And I've tried to duplicate that same pour several times, and it's the same recipe and everything, and it still won't have the same effect. Yeah, absolutely. Card on file, right? We feel very fortunate that you all love what we love to do. We love to make blanks, and I absolutely love to turn. I wish I had more time to turn, but I enjoy what I do get to turn. Better than the bar tab. Absolutely. My wife will agree with you. I could have a lot worse hobbies. Usually with a bar tab, there's a risk of creating yourself more problems than you can fix. Typically, that doesn't happen with turning unless the piece comes off and hits you. Oh, I have an idea. We have some colored pencil blanks that I recently made. If you would like to see one, we can turn one into a pen on a live in the next week or so. We can gladly turn one of those into a pen. They make awesome diamond pens too. We will be doing a drop of them probably next week in several groups. So keep an eye out. Oh, I feel you on the long hours. I don't put them in like that anymore, but there was a time that we did, or that I did. My wife can vouch of 7 days a week, 16 hours a day for a long time. Several of my end of the year pay stubs say no less than 6,000 hours in a year. Watching turning is relaxing. Hey, Kupaki Art joined us. I have a blank to send a picture to blank. I have a blank to send a picture of to you. As soon as we are finished with the live, you will see it. More money for blanks. Thank you for the idea. We'll keep making them as long as you want them. I'll keep making them so we have something to turn. I apologize for the delay. My wife says she would have to own a bar if I took up that hobby. You're probably right. Oh, not very often, just occasionally. Thankfully, not very often. That'd be expensive. Once or twice a year is enough. I wouldn't say like a fish. I'd say maybe I'm a couple times a year that we do have a drink. I'm immune to alcohol. I think I know what you're talking about, Kenny. I believe you were looking for these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. Sweet. I'll put them in the mail with the other ones that are coming to you in the morning. Caden, we did make a set like this with the same green and a very shimmer pink. Oh, that's great. Is he watching the live as well? And remember, if he has any questions, just ask. How does he like turning? Is Steve watching as well, Jenny? He loves turning, but is finding time. Ha! Lots of honeydew projects. That's one of the territories of being married. I keep trying to make time on Saturday mornings to catch your live, but unfortunately, I'm usually making blanks or trying to catch up shipping orders. Flawless. Nice. Nice. Now for a little bit of wax and some assembly. We are thankful that YouTube allows us to post the replay. It is definitely very handy. Go up a little static electricity there. Got me. Looks like mustard. Um, Not mustard, but it's some old wax. All right. Let's put the hardware together. Okay. Here's our finished blank. Sorry, out of focus there. Pardon the lens cleaning. Yeah, the black and white's pretty sweet. Okay, and this is assembled like so. And we actually need to use the pin press. Just 1 second. This piece must be pressed into the end in order to thread it on. So we have the pin press set up over here, and we will press this in together. Okay. And now we'll put this on and thread it up, tighten it up, check the fit. Look at that. No seam, no out around. We got very fortunate. And then on this end, we will thread on the tailstock with the same fit right down to our bushing. Seamless, no shoulder. And there we have coffee scoop in the classic black and white marble. I believe it is a 2 teaspoon coffee scoop, 2 tablespoons. The kit might say 2 tablespoons. They offer this in stainless and in gold. I like the stainless look better. Not much of a gold fan, but to each their own. Okay, we can put that away. We will take out the 7mm turn between center adapters. Put them back in the drawer for the other ladies. And now we need this adapter. This goes from 1x8, which is what our lathe is. And I will put these bushings away as well in one of our handy 3D printed cases. Keep track of everything. We'll label that coffee scoop bushings. And we'll turn one of the 3 of these. I'd say we do the rainbow one first, the black and white, and we can always do the wood last. I went ahead and pre-drilled these for a 1/2 inch hole. I put the knurled bushings inside so that they had time for the glue to set up and harden, and everything was ready for this evening. It is something that takes a little extra time, but it's nice to be prepared so that you all can enjoy the turning more than the prep. It's uptight, ready to go. Thank you all very much. That did turn out very, very nice. Very classic look. Yeah, I agree, Darren. With the black finials, it looks really, really good. Yeah, I'm not a gold fan, much at all. No, you don't have to be present. As long as you showed up, liked the live, and commented, we would love for everyone to spend the whole time. But we understand everyone has a life, so you don't have to spend the whole time. By no means is that a sticking point. Okay, here we go. This one should be pretty neat. It should be kind of low profile. We'll see how big of a diameter I can get out of it. We will also post the winner in the group tomorrow. Have a good evening, Teeny. Good luck on the other side of the world. Anyone have any suggestions on shape? We can get a better look at it with a little bit of alcohol and see the colors that are going to come out. This would be a bottle stopper. I got an idea for shape. Looks like spring, absolutely. I'm not sure how well you can see the profile yet, but it will polish up and you'll be able to see it. And there's a nice little relief on the top. There's a matching relief on the bottom, and plenty of this for traction. All right, let's get out the Zona paper. Pardon me while I purge the water that's in the container and put us in some fresh. Do we like the shape? Darren, I know you're partial to a cube, but is this okay? You suppose? Well, I'm glad it passes the Darren test. We are making a bottle stopper, KB. Is that Corrine Boisfort? Also kept a lot of the nice color in range. Yes. Yeah, that was the goal, was to not try to make it too small. It might be a little bit big, but my goal was to try to keep as much color in there as possible. We will see what it looks like. Chicken fried rice. That's funny. That's really funny. No, the beauty of stoppers is you can turn whatever you want. And there is a different shape for every person. Unlike pens where there's a general uniform idea of what is reasonable, with bottle stoppers, there is not. Oftentimes I feel like they're more fun to turn than they sell, but we have a couple and we like them. I made Amy a bottle stopper with a corkscrew in it for her birthday trip last year, and we got to use it on her birthday trip, and it worked out well. It's a good kit as well. It has a corkscrew and bottle stopper all built in one. And if you saw and you noticed that I used the micro, the red tool handle, it has a very fresh piece of carbide in it, so it leaves a very nice smooth finish. It does not require much sanding. No, it shouldn't be too big. It's hard to judge by my hands. Oftentimes I get told I have monster hands, but to the average person, I still think this is a good size. I still think it'll be functional. And if no one's interested, I know I like it. I like the end of it with the shape up here on the top. The orange is almost transparent around the rim. I think when you see it off of the tool, it'll look a lot nicer. Darren, what are your turning projects this week? Anybody want to share any projects they're working on this week? Ah, I'm a fan of the red, white, and black. 14 pins over 2 weekends. That is a busy weekend. That's two very busy weekends. All kitless pins, or were they some of them kit pins? Oh, nice, Joe. Do you make any tops for the craft shows? I feel like spinning tops have sold well for us in the past. All kits. Nice. I have some olive wood pins to make as soon as I get another large order done for a client. Once I get it finished. Matching pins, pin and letter opener set. Oh, hey, that's a great idea. Nice. Good job, Steve. That should be awesome. Please post it when it's finished. I think this is good. Good to move on to the next one. We'll try to soften this edge just a little bit. Yeah, I'd say we're good to move on to the next group. Absolutely. Same here. Tops are easy to make. In the past, I've made a bunch of them and just use a light wood like poplar, something soft, and then use the corner of a harder piece of wood to burn different rings and such in them, or hold crayons up to them while they're hot on the lathe and use crayons to make the different colored rings for different colors. Yeah, the colors really turned out well in this. Thank you very much. You see the notification popped up that my daughter's on her way home. It's great. So I use fresh Zona paper for each project. I reuse it for a couple. If you're just making smaller stuff like kit pins, you will use a couple pieces, usually one or two pieces of the green. If you notice, I have a stack of it separate. You'll use one or two pieces of green for a kit pin, and the other colors will last 3 to 5 pins. But being that we used it on a diamond pen, which has a lot of surface area, and I had a little bit of chatter, it only used it for 2 pins. I probably could have used it for this, but I knew there would be a lot of surface area. So, in the essence of time, I switched it out for a fresh set just to try to save a little time with the green and the other colors. But they will typically last 3 to 5 pins. Oh, nice. Nice. Always nice to support your coworkers. I've never turned the Coyote Click. Is that a decent kit? Is that a nice kit? Is the hardware nice? The clip's nice? Steve, do you need a sanding station like this? Doesn't have to be in pink. We have pink and bright orange, and we have lime green, we have black, have white, have blue. We also have been 3D printing several of the CA glue holders as well to keep your CA glue from getting knocked over. Nice. Thanks, Darren. Okay, let's see, we're good with that one. Now we can move on to the next one. We double our speed. Good. What color would you like? I only use the pink because I know it's absolutely Palm's favorite. And I'll continue to say that even when he's here and when he's not here. Next week, we use the Palm pink container as well. There's another member that's in the group that recently sent me some of the old M3 stuff, which is incredible. Big difference, but the new M3 stuff is still really good, but it is night and day difference between the old vintage M3 and the current M3. Lime green, good, I already have one printed. I am very fortunate for the couple of M3 that were gifted to me. I like them very well. We also have some vintage ebonite. If anyone would like to see a pen turned out of ebonite, I have some colors and I have black and I have some polish that's pretty wild. It'll make it look almost like it's been urushi lacquered. Okay, next. The little ridges take a little extra time to sand. Yes, yeah. When Tim took over, he changed the recipe to a different resin, which makes just a slightly different feel. They're still really nice, but but it makes for a very heavy blank. Um, I really would like to turn a piece of the vintage stuff on one of the lives. It would be a really awesome way to show my appreciation to the person that gifted them to me. But they're really dense. They're really heavy. They most likely will make my new everyday pen because it has copper in it, and I'm a huge fan of copper. I've carried the same pen made out of Bacote for the last 2 years. Anybody have any big summertime projects coming up? Big vacations planned? I think I'm so excited for the warm weather. I'd like to hear about anybody else's vacation as well. Anybody have any turning questions? That's a big thing. I will see you at SWAT. Amy and I will be going to SWAT as well. My good friend Tony Street will be there, and she will be one of the demonstrators. And we will definitely be going to support her and see all the others. What's up, Steve? Hi, Joan. Enjoy the week off there. Oh, nice. Kentucky is a state below me. I think that's where Steve is from. I think Steve is from Kentucky. Hey, Martijo. Tony is a world class artist. We have several pieces of her pottery. We have a couple mugs. I recently, Steve's in Tennessee. That's right, Sweetwater, Tennessee. Um, but we have several pieces of her pottery. I recently purchased a berry bowl for my wife. Her work is amazing. It's always incredible. And for those who feel that her work is a little expensive, I agree with you. But everything I've made has been just absolutely exceptional. Looks like we're about 8:40, so we'll have time to do the black and white bottle stopper, and that'll probably be close to the end of the live. Haha, that is awesome. No, Joe, I'm in West Virginia. Oh, West by God. Can you see the shape? When I saw the blue in there, I was thinking the blue looked like an aquifer or like a sinkhole when the water is going down. So I wanted to bring out some of the blue that I knew was buried under the orange. And the functional texture and shape should be pretty nice. Thank you, Mary. I love the colors as well. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that'll work very well. The relief gives you room to get your fingers underneath of it. Pull in and out easy. Water up against the lens. Sorry about that. The Minwax face wax works really well. And in all honesty, if you have never tried the Johnson's face wax, you probably wouldn't notice a difference to the Minwax. If you've never tried the Johnson, you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference. The Johnson is just a little bit better. I did order some ceramic wax that is a higher grit than the Johnson. We'll try it in one of the lives and see what it's like. But the bottle stopper turned out all right. That blank was just a random pour. I had a bunch of leftover resin and I had a mold available and I poured it and made the bottle stopper. It was not intentional. All right. Now we're on the race for time. Uh-oh. Looks like we got a little bit of CA glue in the thread of this one. That's right, it'll turn out. Okay, good to go. How I threaded that, Steve? It is just this. Drill a 1/2 inch hole, 0.67 inches deep, and it is just a knurled, I don't know if I've got one loose anywhere or not, but it's just a knurled bushing that fits in there, and you glue it in with either 2-part epoxy or CA glue. and it works really well. There we go. It's bottomed out. Okay. And we will turn this from square to round. Pardon the dust collector. Egg shape. Sorry, Joe. I missed your comment too late. Yeah, egg shape would have looked great for that. Sorry about that. Egg shaped would have looked great, like a marbled Fabergé egg, huh? Cool shape. I'm glad it passed the Joe test. Well, I figured the other one was so big, we'd make something smaller. I've made some stoppers for decanters, so we've just turned the resin in the shape in order to fit down inside the decanter. That way they can still have the glass decanter and then have matching or custom caps for the decanters. Thanks, Steve. I think it'll polish up nice. This is the chunk of the material left from the ice cream scoop. Gear shift knob. Oh yeah, lots. Um, Probably about 76, 77, give or take, maybe 80. I would have to look in the book. I've always kept track of all the things we've turned. All right, thanks, Jenny. Glenn, we also cast skulls in custom colors, and then I thread them for gear shift knobs for hot rods, local car collectors, stuff like that that want custom shift knobs. The skulls look really nice, and the eye sockets are the right diameter for the tips of your fingers when you're holding the shifter. Yeah, it's a couple. Yeah, you like skulls, do you, Glenn? I always like the Cinco de Mayo sugar skulls. I like the look of those a lot. Yeah, I saw the can koozie. Man, you did a great job on the fit. The can slid in there just very, very smoothly. So your fit and finish were nice and tight on the inside. Are you interested in turning a white oak tumbler, Joe? If so, I can probably find you a white oak quarter sawn kiln dried white oak blank for that. Yeah, I'll have to find some pictures and post them of the white oak tumblers that we've made in the past. We char the inside just like a white oak whiskey barrel. When I was in the field, I took care of a place here in Pennsylvania, just one state over in Pennsylvania, called the Keystone Cooperage or Wilson Forest Products, and they make the finest white oak barrels that get shipped out of the U.S. None of the barrels stay in the U.S., and they've been exporting since 1951. They buy the highest grade white oak there is, always neat to take care of their dehumidifiers and stuff for the kiln and take care of the boilers for the kilns. It was a neat place to work, neat place to see. Good group of people, all hardworking. But they gave me the experience of learning how white oak barrels are made, and they're quarter sawn, because if they're not quarter sawn lumber and you use flat sawn, one, the shape won't stay of the shape of the barrel, it'll distort, but two, the whiskey will leak right through the side of the barrel. If you make them with the white oak and char the inside, just use a wax for the outside, and the whiskey tumblers work really well. We are going to run over just a few minutes on the live. And if my wife is still watching, maybe I can get her to bring the list down and we'll do a drawing for the diamond pin. No worries. The cup, if you're going to drink anything other than whiskey out of it, buy a stainless steel insert. Same with a shot glass. Buy a stainless steel insert and turn it and put the stainless steel insert in it. If you want a really big cup, buy the aluminum or stainless steel solo cups and turn one of those and put inside of it, and it makes for a nice big 20-ounce cup or 16-ounce cup. Yeah, yeah. Bourbon aged in, yeah, that would have been really, really good. Steve, if you like chocolate milk, you can mix Captain Morgan spice rum and Bush beer together, and it tastes like chocolate milk. Yeah, I swear. Bush beer and Captain Morgan tastes like chocolate milk. I know it sounds crazy. I promise you it sounds crazy, but it works. It's not a stomach ache. I don't recommend a lot of it, but for one shot or one small drink, it does taste like chocolate milk. I wouldn't try it on my Cocoa Pebbles. They probably wouldn't Wouldn't work well with cereal, but it does taste like chocolate milk. All right, this should be pretty nice. Joe, I have a container of the Minwax stuff. I'll use it sometime and show you. We'll make two of the same thing and compare them side by side. It still looks really nice. Hit every yard sale, flea market, or antique store you pass looking for the paste wax. That's where I found a few cans over the years. Oh yeah, that turned out all right. It's a nice color spot in there. Steve, you can also put the lathe in reverse. Hold the tool and put it in drive and unthread it the easy way. I can see a little CA glue down in the bottom. It's all right. Here we go. Turned out okay. Nice plate finish on the top. Oops, sorry. Out of focus. There we go. This one is a corkscrew combo. That way you can see what this looks like. I'll probably have to clean that little bit of glue out to get it to set all the way down. I think that comes out of there. It says it's a corkscrew combo. We'll see. It is. There we go. All right. So we'll thread this piece on. And like I said, I'll have to clean a little bit of glue out of the bottom to get it to set all the way down. But there is a corkscrew in the bottom. See if we can clean this up just a little bit. And let me get a backdrop for the lathe. And here is the ice cream scoop. I apologize, we didn't get time to turn the wooden one, but we can on another live. There's our bottle stopper and corkscrew. And we have a coffee scoop. And this week's diamond pen. I'd say there's a productive, and the other bottle stopper. And it is as well a corkscrew kit. So that nice big extra shape will come in handy when using the corkscrew part of this. Let's say that was a productive couple of hours. Any questions? Any comments? If you think of anything that you want to have C-turned for next week, let us know. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone, for the comments. The black and white is really, really interesting. The black and white from this pour was just slightly different from this pour, but still very, very eye-catching. And there's some beautiful feature in that. I will see if we have the hardware to do the measuring cups and measuring spoons for next week. I think there's 5 or 6 of each size. Thank you, Glenn. I think so. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for the compliments. And we do not have a complete list of who was there this evening, so I will post the winner tomorrow. Thanks very much. Thank you all for joining. Yeah, it has a very clean and timeless look. You know, marble and class don't go out of style. And it's a nice heavy ice cream scoop. Works well. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good evening, and we will see you this week. And if not, we'll see you next week on the live. Can I have to Jonathan? Absolutely. Sure, no problem. Thank you all very much. Thanks for joining. Have a good evening.